Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to this no-name podcast so far. I'm going to be one of your hosts. My name is Hugo Mesa, and I have a wonderful person to join on this talk that pretty much about movies, trailers, and whatever, anything else we feel interested. We have Chris Espinosa.
Hi there.
All right, so pretty much this is our first episodes.
Number one. Got to start somewhere.
Exactly, and we're gonna introduce ourselves a little bit, just so you guys have a little bit of context. Where I'm a really boring people. Probably Chris has more interesting adventures in life, but it's all right. So so far for me, I'm a graduate in film, so that's the reason this podcast is going on. Currently unemployed, of course, but not so far. And I'm from TJ. Yeah, if you hear some misspelling words and stuff kind of like that, I'm so sorry, but my English is not very good looking. I'm trying my best. I grew up watching, movies and TV series, and that helps, but I can make mistakes. What about you, Chris?
All right, yeah, I'm Chris. I absolutely have no film background, but I love watching it. The most I do with film is I put on a small program at the school I work at. My background is in education and in children's psychology. So, but I'm a huge film enthusiast, love playing video games. So this was right up my alley. English is my first and only language, so if I mess up, I have no excuse. But Hugo does absolutely amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's enough, I think. With your but and by that's enough, I say, that your background and TV and stuff. I think you're more the average person. That's the reason I tell him, invite him to join to this little journey. And pretty much for this episode, we're gonna try to see what's coming next year. It's December. It's December 1st. We have a few big movies this month, probably. That's it for the year. So maybe next week we're gonna be talking about what we think is worth watch this month. I think it's Star Wars coming. Right?
Star Wars is coming out this month.
And talking about video games, Assassin's Creed also is coming this month, which is, I have mixed feeling about the movie, but
I do as well. I support video game movies, but I get so afraid every time they come out because they're never what I want.
Yeah, I can't remember. I enjoy a few ones, but it's always that scare that they're not good enough.
And they're great intellectual properties that have great ideas and so much story. And I understand we have 90 minutes, 120 minutes to cram, 60 hours of gameplay and story into 2-hour film. But you just have this fondness for it. So when they mishandle it and it fails, that's the last you're ever going to see of it for at least 20 years until they reboot it.
Right. It happened to me with Warcraft, which surprisingly I enjoyed the movie. But the same thing, that game is insanely big. Yeah. And I think they did a decent job to cram some of the information that, 2 hours movie?
Yeah, no, it's a huge long movie. And again, I never played the World of Warcraft. I used to play Warcraft 2 back on the old PCs, but
we're old.
But no, I understand that there's a lot of lore in there, and the movie just kind of expects you to know some of it, and then just runs.
Yeah, it's so much. But if you want to see one of the best CGI done. It has really amazing visual effects. They invest a lot of time, and I watch a little bit of behind the scenes, and they really care and try to make the best Warcraft movie. It's just impossible. It's too much.
There is so much from story perspective as well as those characters, and you're right. That CGI. They announced that movie back in 2008, 2009 is when they said, "Hey, we're pulling through with it," and they took their time. So I have to commend them for that, for not rushing this product out. They took a lot of time making sure it was what it needed to be. So I'm hoping for the best, and we get another one soon.
Perfect.
Hopefully not another.
It seems like China apparently like it a lot, so they get a lot of money, and They're gonna make it.
That reminds me. Yeah, you're right. China. Yeah, China makes a lot of money, but that's why we're getting that movie, The Wall. Matt Damon.
And we can talk about more about that little controversy for another episode.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. I think it's a lot of good info and a great input that we can put in. Where we have, we have a different, obviously, opinions about it, but I think we can agree that it's so great that finally those topics are coming, in people's talks.
Yeah.
Because it's been avoided for so long. I mean, I feel, when my input that I study movies and study cinema, and I like to also study the story of cinema, how it was built. And I always think that Hollywood's always way behind of, social topics all the time. It's like they always came late to the party. It's like, dude, come on, it's 2016. You need to change ways.
They do, and I guess the reason they're really behind too is it's almost like an investment risk, because it's a changing social standard that isn't quite set in stone yet. So they don't want to, invest millions upon millions of dollars in something that could potentially flop. They'd rather invest after it's a sure-footed thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And talking about social topics, just as a really fast snap, just because I have it in my mind, and it's a movie called Moonlight. I don't know if you hear about it. It's causing a lot of buzz. I watched a trailer, and it's a really small independent movie, but a lot of people they respect in the field, and I follow in social media, and they're involved. I think it's really worth it. I'm gonna watch it, and maybe we can talk a little bit more next week.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I think if I'm not wrong, and I don't like to give say stuff that I didn't research yet, or I don't have any big knowledge about it, but so far I think it's an African American and with a homosexual social problems related. So that itself sounds great, because I feel that's another topic that a lot of people don't talk about. The what's the name, LGTB?
Yeah, the LGBTQ community.
And the African American communities. But again, we're going to save that one for later. We're already talking so much. But so far, like I said in the beginning, we're going to talk about what's next year. What's the big movies coming? It's already too much. And I think 2017 is going to be kind of slow year. I don't know what you think.
A slow year for movies? You mean like...
Yeah, like compared to this last one, there was so much big movies like Avengers and stuff like that. Oh,
yeah.
I think the next one is going to be slow with the blockbusters. They're going to save the good stuff for 2018. But what do you think so far?
Yeah, no, because Marvel's slowing down as far as their films. I mean, they have a few that are gearing up, but we're in like the mid-tier of their phase 3, so we're not going to get that next level Avengers movie until 2018. Right. So yeah, I agree with you that we're saving a lot of big ones for next year or the year after it.
Right. So we're going to be talking about the next year movies, and so far the one that caught our attention a lot is the new movie of Mr. Shyamalan, or whatever his name. I can never pronounce it.
M. Night Shyamalan.
There you go. That's the reason we have Chris in this podcast. He can correct my mistakes. Split with John McAvoy. I think that guy is doing a really great job with his roles recently.
Yeah, I agree.
Besides, like Xavier and X-Men, but what you can expect from a cartoon character, But
even that, I have to respect his take on Xavier, because he had to step into the shoes of Patrick Stewart, who was my, again, definition of Patrick Xavier on the big screen.
There you go.
So that was huge. And then to make the decision that, no, I'm going to have hair for the first 2 movies and get away that iconic baldness. Yeah, no, he's doing
about what you think nerdy people are in the world.
No, but I agree that he's taken a lot of good roles.
And I think this one is going to be one of those, I'm not going to say breakthrough role where he defined his career, but so far, for what I watched from the trailer, it's just really great. I can notice that the guy it's a really great actor. He put a lot of effort, and it's not hard. And we're going to talk about a little bit more of the topic itself of the movie. But can you remember another movie with McAvoy that really caught your attention a lot? Besides, what we mentioned already?
Besides X-Men. I don't know of course everybody remembers, but it was Wanted in 2008. Not saying it's a good movie at all, but that was my first real introduction to McAvoy. And I remember kind of being blown away at the transformation he takes from the beginning to the end, which is fine. The whole movie left me wanting absolutely more from it, not in a good way, but just like it was left too much on the floor. But that was the first real movie that I found where I was like, that was the strongest actor, and that was with, I believe, Samuel L. Jackson was in there, and you had Angelina Jolie, and he still stood out amongst all of them, and I had no idea who he was before that. What about you?
I'm trying to check right now. I have a movie I watched. I get mad sometimes with myself because, in this time now with phones and all stuff, sometimes you don't give the whole attention to a few movies, but this one caught my attention a lot. And just give me a second, whoever's listening to this, stay there. Even if we're just 2 or 3 people listening there, just wait until we get the sponsors and all the good stuff. You're gonna be like, yeah, we're the first one to listen to these guys. Yeah, right. The movie's Trans, 2013. It's already a lot of years since that, but I think it was the first movie that caught my attention a lot from McAvoy. It's kind of like, let's say, a light version of the Split performance. I think it's a cop that's psychotic and has all these surreal experiences in his job, but it's definitely worth it if you want to jump in a little bit more in the McAvoy filmography. Trans, and like you say, Wanted, not best movie, I agree, but it's still he's just such a good actor that he kind of give it a little one step above the level of the movie.
Yeah, the level of the
like
movie.
He can carry the weight of a bad script and bad writing.
Another example of that bad script, but definitely an elevated acting style was that Victor Frankenstein. It was him and Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
Where I was really impressed with his take on Victor Frankenstein, and that's what kept me invested to keep moving on to the end of the movie because,
All right, so we're going to watch right now the Split trailer one more time for ourselves. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you're going to be able to watch the trailer with us. It's not that great. Technology, people, technology. So just to have a better context and have a fresh take on it. That girl in the trailer also is so great.
Yeah.
My name's Hedwig. They live in Kevin's body. Who are you? Can I move you, Hedwig? Try to shoot me? I'm telling you. An individual with multiple personalities can change their body chemistry with their thoughts. Someone's coming for you. The beast. There's a man here. He abducted us and he's going to kill me. something. Something horrible. The world will understand it. The beast is real.
Perfecto. Still got me. I mean, I've seen it a few times already, and so far I'm really into it. I'm ready for January to jump in. And the movie, what do you think?
No, I upon watching it had no idea when I first saw it what was going on, and once it clicked that it was it was him playing all these different roles,
Right.
That's what had me. Again, like we were talking about before, anything with split personality disorders, multiple personality disorders, that alone has my money for admission at the door. I love the tension that it puts on, and I don't know if it says something about me, but I love when a thriller can take place in a single room like that and keep your attention for that hour and a half, because that puts it helps the story out a little bit with making it kind of feel closed, that claustrophobic feeling. But how he seamlessly moves back and forth between all these different roles, my only concern is there were 22, 23?
23, I think.
23 personalities?
I think it was 22, and the plot of the whole thing, it's at the end, it's going to log these 23 that's supposed to be the monster or the beast or something like that.
My only concern with that many is that's a lot to kind of cram into a movie and have
Right.
those characters kind of flip through. But the ones that we even got to see, maybe 5 or 6, are interesting enough that that would have kept me entertained. But I'm sold.
Yeah, I think a lot of people is getting concerned with Mr. Shyamalan, and they have fair arguments, to be honest.
Yes, I do.
The first glimpse I have of this director was with The Signs with Mel Gibson, right?
So Signs was your first step into M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, and it was a good taste, even has a few flaws, but sometimes I'm too anal because, that's what I do with movies. It's not that I'm better. Let's be clear. It's not that I'm better. It's not that I have the final argument and everything. But I feel I have a little bit more sensitivity to certain things that the average person to go to see a movie doesn't see. Said that, I really enjoy a lot design. A lot of people bash what's the other movie? The Basic? No. Where's that one with the people that supposedly lives in an old town?
No, that's The Village.
The Village. There we go. Yeah, I like it. I can get it. The final was kind of like, really, but though that atmospheric part of Shyamalan is what I like.
Right. He's a master at kind of creating that atmosphere. I think why his films kind of get so much flack is because he's known for giving that twist. So we're all expecting it. That was the whole point of why, you had your films like The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, was that twist at the end. We weren't quite accustomed to it. So now that it came out, when we had The Village, we were all expecting something. And when it turned out to just be ending A, B, or C, it let a lot of people down. But I agree with you. I actually do enjoy The Village. I'm part of the minority on that one. I think it was a really good film. And even though it was a weaker twist, it still was enough for me to be like, that's totally believable.
Right. The fact that they carry you all the movie, and again, it's just the ending, but the fact that it keeps you pretty much glued to the story all that time, waiting for something. I think a lot of people is just like bunch of little kids like, oh, come on, it's so no sense. But again, these are movies, they're stories, and I mean, at least for movies, that's my take. It's an experience. Not everything needs to be logical, And even that ending wasn't anything crazy. It was just like...
Yeah. Spoiler alert for some of these movies that we talk about, by the way.
Come on, people. These movies are being for a long time, so...
But when she finds the truck and it's present day, that was supposed to be the big reveal.
Right.
It's
It's kind of lackey, it's like the easy exit.
Right, and you find out that there's no monster that you've been led to believe this whole time, and it's just the townspeople that are in the know that it's not the real place, that wear the outfit and scare all the youngins. But I too have fallen out of love with M. Night Shyamalan and his movies. One of his biggest crimes to me was Avatar, the Airbender, because I love the TV show. I really do. I thought that was great. And so when it failed so spectacularly, I was done. I'm out. I'm not watching any more of your movies. And I really haven't. I've stayed away because it's not going to meet me to where I need to be met. This is the first time where I'm excited again to go see an M. Night Shyamalan. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm excited to go see another one.
I watched the trailer for the first time, and I didn't know there was Shyamalan. And that's what surprised me. Then I find out, like, oh, really? These dudes pull it out, this trailer that looks more than decent, actually really great. I'm excited. For all the people out there that are interested, just buy the ticket, go, and if it fails, whatever, move on. There's more movies coming in the year. But something I want to point it out, and just because you're a little bit more involved, and I think that's the reason it caught you even more with the psychological aspect of the movie. Mm-hmm. It's anything. I've been reading a little bit of people comment online, which it's a bad habit. I need to cut it more often. It's too much sand out there. Anyways, because I'm sort of a nerdy person. Remember, people, nerdy is not anymore a bad word. So get over it. It's actually being cool these days. I tried to read a little bit of disorder and personalities, but how accurate can be that somebody had 33.
Yeah.
Especially because, from my understanding, the simple fact that somebody had person. What's the right term? It's the DP or something. Disorder.
For the multiple personality disorder.
Yeah. It's a term, right? A specific term. I just sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have the DSM-4 in front of 5. Excuse me, DSM-5 in front of us to get the correct terms.
How, from your knowledge, how
super rare that somebody would even have that many. I mean, it's there. What I want to know, and what I should have looked up, was if those. I'm pretty sure it's not true, but the changing of your personality affects your molecular level, like they were saying. I don't think that that's possible. I think that if one of your personality traits is to be a younger child, you don't have the confidence to move something big in front of you that when you're, the 40-year-old man, you would move it anyway because it's not even a second thought. A kid would think, I can't lift that table because it's bigger than I am. There's no conscious connection there.
The only reason I ask is because, like I say, I research a little bit. I'm not going to say that my the sites or whatever I research were super accurate and super scientific based. But so far, there were supposedly enough studies to confirm that they actually, let's say, and this was the example so far they were managing, and again, it's super briefly, but they were saying that somebody that had let's say, change to one of his alter egos, and that alter ego, supposedly it's somebody with high blood pressure. The body itself actually pumped the blood pressure of the person, just changing to that alter ego. So I don't know. Again, this is super weird. Like, I mean, not weird, rare. Not
rare,
weird.
yeah.
It's not a common thing, so take it with that way. This is just a movie based, maybe in some research, or Shyamalan feel interested to explore that.
Right. Certain liberties can be taken when creating stories. But again, if something like blood pressure, it's a state of mind. If you're always anxious and angry, of course your blood pressure is going to rise. True. What they were showing on there was him kind of, bulging out in his muscles and things. True. So that impossible blood pressure, totally feasible. I can understand that one.
But not the other things. It's less likely.
Yeah.
Because we're humans and we're not that great. So something more do you want to add to this? I mean, I want to see more, but at the same time,
I've seen enough to be satiated to actually see the movie. I don't need to see another trailer. I don't want to know any more. That's half the fun of going to these types of thriller movies is kind of getting that onion factor of getting the layers to peel back until you're at the center, and then everything should change since it's a Shyamalan film.
Yeah, Hollywood, we don't like that you reveal all your stuff in one single trailer. That's not fun. That's a big problem to have these days with trailers.
Looking at you, Batman versus Superman. That was a horrible second trailer. You gave away the entire movie.
Exactly. I was like, what? But anyways, so far that's the biggest one, I think, for us. Not like by budget or how important it is for the movie industry, but I think if somebody can shake a little bit all the. And again, I don't have nothing against superhero movies and all this stuff, but I'm reaching the point that I'm a little bit tired of them.
You're getting that superhero fatigue.
I need something else, and I think it's a good break from all that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Perfect. So the other one that it really caught my attention to was Kong, the Skull Island.
Skull Island. That's right.
Yeah.
Skull. Yeah.
See my English. Anyway. Really great. You already watched. Let's just roll with the trailer, because again, I think this next year, some movies are gonna jump. On the After Effects department, they're gonna do another quality jump to the point that probably, hopefully not in the future, they're not gonna need actors and stuff. Hopefully not. But all right.
Service job. Just chopping them in and out. Enjoy life.
What isn't Sam Jackson in?
What?
What isn't Sam Jackson in? He's in this movie too. He's been in like 3 or 4 movies this year.
To be honest, I don't know. Even some straight to DVD, I'm pretty sure that guy is in everything. Boom. In your fave, Sam Jackson. And it's John Goodman there. So
Yep.
Everything, it looks good.
Lots of good actors. Tom Hiddleston.
There you go, yeah. The other girl, I don't have her name.
Bree something or other. But she's the new Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel.
Interesting.
This planet doesn't belong to us.
I really like the sort of, almost feels like Full Metal Jacket or, one of those movies, the war movies. They have that vibe.
I spent 30 years trying to prove the truth. Monsters exist.
I want to talk about a little theory that it may happen, but let's just finish.
You're looking at the monster from some bygone era. Stand still, that
And this King Kong is massive.
Right, really? Which again plays into another theory that they're talking about, but...
Hi, handsome. There you go. It looks great, period.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited by it. I was nervous when they first kind of announced it, because Peter Jackson did his King Kong, was that back in 2005?
Yeah.
And so, again, at the time, that was the technological peak.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he had the Weta Studios behind him, and he was, making Andy Serkis Kong, and
right.
and it was a really good 3-hour-long movie. But as a kid, that was one of my favorite movies, was the old King Kong.
Yeah, the original one.
Yeah, where he fought the dinosaurs on that island. So I was all about it. So I was worried about this one. But I heard it's a crossover with the Godzilla movie.
There you go. That's exactly where I was trying to go. And I think I watched the Godzilla, the last one.
Yeah.
and I think they did a pretty good job. I enjoyed it. Again, it's just new stuff. When you're so attached to something, you don't want to make it change that much. But I think they did a great job. And if this theory is true, I'm into.
I'm into it as well. When I heard it that they were going to cross over the King Kong and Godzilla, seeing the new Godzilla and how massively huge he was, thick and tall, I was thinking about the Peter Jackson King Kong, because this was before this trailer was even out.
Right.
And I was thinking that gorilla wasn't more than 4 stories tall.
Yeah.
Godzilla was the size of a skyscraper. I'm like, I don't understand how you're going to have this movie work. When I saw this trailer and how big Kong was, now we have a showdown.
Right. The only disappointment, I think we watched the first trailer. They released another one.
Yeah.
They show a lot.
They do. I don't think I've even seen that second or that other trailer.
See, they show all. I mean, so far with this trailer, I was happy and content. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go and watch it. I'm into it. But then they release a second one. There you go. And they I feel like they show the whole movie. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was excited. I was ready to pay, and then now I'm probably gonna go and watch it for sure. But still, I feel like everything's there. The music is great, though.
Helping us to map the surface of the island. They're dropping bombs. Scientific instruments. Is that a monkey?
Yeah, you're showing his face.
Yeah, everything's in there. So what's the point? Just disappointment. It feels like you're not bold enough, dude, because you want to show so people go and see it.
Yeah, we were. You had my money already.
Exactly. Hey, just wait. It's getting better.
Oh boy.
You put that down. What the hell is this place? That's calm. It's King around here. I was pretty good, King. He was himself mostly. You don't go into someone's house and start dropping bombs unless you fight. Call this guard on the island. But the devils live rules. And what they call it? I call them skull crawlers. Why? Never said that name out loud before. It sounds stupid now that I said it. Call them whatever you want.
See, like they don't need to show the bad guys. We're gonna get surprised.
Maybe they got upset because of the Godzilla flashback that they had, where they never showed his face or who the monster looked like, and
maybe
they're hoping that showing it.
But you know what I mean? It's like
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
It's just
you just gave away.
Yeah.
The boys, we're all gonna die together out here.
Everything.
It's like, oh, I'm not so confident that we're gonna make
our money back.
Yeah. It's like, no, you have a good shit already. You don't need
that first trailer alone set the tone. It told me what's gonna happen. These people go to the island, they meet Kong. That's the premise of any King Kong movie.
I will get more surprise in a good way, knowing like, oh, it's not just about King Kong, it's something else going on in there.
Right. With I guess they're called skull crawlers.
Yeah, now we're gonna call officially.
Yeah, but it takes away a lot of that initial reaction you should have had watching it for the first time. And that's my big thing with movies, or even showing stuff to people for the first time. You give them just the base knowledge, and then you just let the movie do the rest of the talking. But I get it. These movie studios.
Yeah, money. Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah, we're not trying to be like all people just like, oh yeah, we hate everything. But it's just to me it shows that you as a consumer, you're not smart enough, you're dumb, and you need all the clues. Come and give me your money. Have some respect for people to pay to watch your thing.
Yep.
But again, that's what's happened these days, and I still am gonna go to see it. But
Yep.
again, you're not going with that excitement anymore.
Yeah, that piece of that experience is gone. You know,
Pretty much with a lot of trailers, there are a few here and there that they do a great job with trailers.
and that's what I can appreciate out of a good trailer is it gives you enough to know, hey, here's the beginning of this story, here's what we're trying to get across, but that's it. That's
Right.
where it stops. It doesn't give you all the meat of this story. Like,
Right.
look at all these great special effects. Look at how the conflict is going to arise and how the two heroes have to face off, and this is what's going to happen, and here's what that ending battle shot looks like. That's all. That's the whole thing.
Or like, especially with action movies, like they show you like what can be 3 or 4 scenes during those 2 minutes that they look amazing, and that's it. You go to see the movie, and those 4 scenes are the best of the whole movie, which
Yeah.
pretty much it's the ones in the trailer. But, you know, it's just all this misleading, but that's what we have these days, and we deal with it.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm gonna go and watch it. I think monster movies are back, and
They
I'm happy
are.
about it.
Yeah. I'm ready for some
I
sort of change.
It's another movie. I don't have the name right now, but I promise next time for you, the only one, I'm gonna have the name. But I hear good stuff about that one. So anyhow, we have then so far Split and Kong, and we're gonna jump. We don't have trailer yet for Star Wars Episode 8, but it's one that I'm waiting a lot.
Disney didn't want to give us the trailer to
Maybe
for us.
once they release Rogue One, maybe they have a glimpse or something. But
And that's what I'm excited for coming, because we only have a month left.
Right.
That Rogue One is the next big, huge movie that's going to drop. It should have a huge trailer attached to it. So
it will be too dumb from Disney to not.
attach something.
Yeah.
Their next big project or whatever they're the parent company to, that movie studio should put their next big film assignment there. Or hey, we don't know, we might get another Marvel trailer because we have 2 Marvel movies
That's
coming
true.
up and Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah, Disney is getting too jumping into the monopoly thing. With getting all the
They do.
to their favor. They're doing a really great job.
And I can't. I mean, I want to not see them collect all the toys on the playing field here, but they're treating the toys nice because I haven't seen a bad Marvel movie yet since the Disney acquisition. But I agree with you that it's kind of, they have their formula, they're pumping it out, it's good, it's done.
Yeah, I think they finally give it that boost the Marvel movies need to. I mean, the Marvel studio already lay out the whole thing with the first movies, but I think when finally jump and explode was when Disney bought them.
When
And
Disney,
it's happening with Star Wars again. Nobody was talking about Star Wars. Nobody. I mean,
because Lucas beat it into the ground.
right, and he has his own. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fans, but I think I know enough from here and there, and I can take the point from Lucas, seeing him more, having that empathy, because I know how hard it is. Even for those people listening, even the dumbest and stupidest movies, now that, I study and now I'm graduate, still I think they're crappy movies.
Doesn't change that
It
opinion.
doesn't change that, but you have more empathy. You know that it's so freaking hard to put together a project like that. Even the one that you think is the most stupidest and like, why this guy made this story, but it's a really daunting task. It's not the red carpet, guys. It's not that.
It's not glamorous. No, and watching anything about George Lucas, that guy has been battling the system since day one and not trying to be part of Hollywood and paying all these fines and these bills just to keep his stuff his. So many people sell out. He held on to it. So, I mean, even in rewatching a lot of the prequel trilogy, I can forgive a lot of what they call like horrible, unforgivable mistakes like Jar Jar Binks and such. But even watching it as a whole, I mean, it's fine. It's not a bad movie like we all think. But again, with Disney acquiring Star Wars and even upping their own game, because even all those Disney movies, like the princess movies or any of these 3D movies, they've all gone up in quality. Disney has definitely stepped up their game. And with Episode 8, I'm just hoping for more story. Because I don't know about you, but Episode 7 left me so wanting more. There was more questions than I had answers for anything.
Yeah, it's something happened. Something funny happened to me. I my first glance of Star Wars movies was when I was obviously like everybody, and kid, probably 6 or 7. I have an uncle. They have the first episodes, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And it was really great. I mean, now you can watch the movies and like, oh yeah, those special effects. But that time it was mind blowing. All the stuff that George Lucas put together. But then after that,
and he relied a little too heavily on it.
yeah. After that, I kind of disconnect. I definitely was excited about the prequels. I watched the first one, and of course, the first thing I get hooked was with Darth Maul. I think that's the biggest thing that came out of those prequels.
Darth Maul?
Darth Maul. Just, I don't know, it was so cool in the 2000s. And then I totally get disconnected, and then recently I start watching all the cartoons, which give you so much input in between, episode 4 and 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much is that sandwich. Is all those cartoons and comics are in between there. And once I started reading them, I think I never give Star Wars that importance that it has. All the topics. It's pretty much a soap opera with political touches here and there. We can pretty much agree that it's a representation of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And it was. And that's the hard part, too, is... especially with the prequels, is that it's so political and it goes over a lot of kids' heads.
Yeah,
to the point where they just, I as a young teenager when those prequels came out, that went over my head because politics weren't really talked about in my house. So whenever they talked about the Republic of this and that, the Galactic Empire and the Senate, I had no idea what that was, other than people are cheering, they're booing, and some bad stuff is happening. But again, I shut it off, and then when we got back to being Star Wars, which was out in space and the fighting, hey, cool, I'm back in. But later on, when I went back and revisited, that's when it became super important to me that, oh my gosh, this is what led to that prequel. I mean, the original trilogy. Yeah. And that's why we have the Rebels. That's why we have the Empire.
Right. I think it's one of those movies that they look better over time.
Yeah.
Like the prequels. Yeah. Like, I still think so many flaws.
Nope, not gonna fight you on that.
But at least you like you say, you understand, because you're older and you understand better all those topics. It has more sense. It clicks better in your head. Yeah. Because obviously with Luke Skywalker, it was the hero story, but it wasn't nothing about the Empire was already there.
Right.
And as a kid, you don't want to I don't want to. Don't talk to me about politics.
In the original trilogy, it was very black and white. Exactly. And the only time it went gray is when episode 6, where Luke and Vader are together, and he's trying to get him to come to the dark side, saying that this is what happened to me. Right. I was all for the light side, but the dark side is just better. And so Luke is towing that line just like Vader did, but was able to bring him back to the light. That's the only time it becomes more of a gray. But
yeah, true. Yeah. That is the only time that he kind of have second thoughts. But
right.
Other than that,
it's very black and white. Empire bad, Rebels good.
It's just when you're a kid, like, is the guy to fight for justice and he wants everything, and you go for that guy.
As Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if.
Oh yeah, Batman's a bad example.
Today's Batman, I don't know, but
Adam West Batman.
Maybe, yeah. But so far for episode 8, I just want to have a few questions answered. And maybe see more of Luke.
Because, that's the real reason we're kind of watching, is that whole Luke aspect. Because, again, Lucas had totally different plans for what this was supposed to be like, which I would be totally interested in reading if any one of our 1 or 2 listeners has it. I would be totally interested in finding out what that was, but we'll never know. But I went to see episode 7 thinking that I can't wait to see Luke.
Yeah, because really, so I think this episode 7 is break in 2 sections. The one to call the new audiences is obviously new heroes, new faces for younger generation of Star Wars fans. and then it's us.
The nostalgia ones.
The nostalgic ones, and it's like when you, I don't know, it feels a little bit like when you broke up with somebody, and then you wait so many years, and then you see it and like, oh, yeah, it's cool. What's going on in your life? But like a good breakup, not like a disaster one. That's my take. Maybe people don't agree with me, but it's kind of like that. Like you're interested in what's going on with that person.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wanna know more about it, but it's kind of like that person you broke up with isn't telling you everything.
Right.
And you're like, I see the ring on your finger. Are you married? Are you not married? You're not telling me.
Right.
I'll tell you the next time we meet in episode 8.
Maybe it wasn't the best analogy now.
No, you're fine. No, because I get what you're saying. Yeah. I got what you meant, but it's not
just like a good friend.
There you go.
That for some reason, life they go away, but then you revisit it some years after. But you want to know. Just in this case, it's freaking Luke Skywalker, one of the coolest guys in the galaxy.
He's all of our best friends, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want from episode 8. And I don't think they're gonna drop. It's Rey, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know have the names yet, but I think it's Rey, the girl.
Yeah, it's Rey.
I don't think they're gonna drop anything about her, and really, I want to know. Well, not really. I want to know. I just want to happen that she's just some average girl that she can feel the Force. Like, I don't want she to get involved in the family,
Right, so you just want her to be a random
just
outsider.
Like Anakin, it's just some this girl guy that came in from nowhere. You don't need to have this Skywalker name or any related to the main characters.
Right, because again, all these Star Wars movies are always about the Skywalkers, and that role's already been filmed from Kylo Ren. And I think that we were all misled with Rey. I think what we might see is this is if the prequels were about the light side going dark,
right,
and then the original trilogy was about somebody sticking to the light side, I find that this trilogy will be a person to find a balance, and that's what they've been trying to tell us this whole time is a balance in the Force. He will bring balance to the Force. This is somebody who will walk between both the light and the dark side of the Force, which is Kylo Ren or Ben.
Because even in that part when, again, spoilers, people, it's already a year from the last movie. Come on, we have internet these days. That part when he killed Han Solo, for Luke's, not for Luke, for Anakin Skywalker in prequels, when he kills the kids at the temple.
Oh yeah, the younglings.
He has some remorse before the act, but after that, he's full speed. I'm going dark side, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm just, But for Kylo Ren, you can notice, like,
there's a struggle. He's hurting.
For him, it's like all the knowledge and everything's going to open, and he's like, where's all these great things that are supposed to happen? I feel like the shittiest dude in the world.
Yeah, I just murdered my father.
And nothing happened. It just
let him fall to the middle of this planet. But nothing happened. I think that's what we're going to get. Is this some sort of, it's a reverse redemption story of where he's already gone dark and now he's going to be brought back. So I don't think it's going to be about Rey per se, but I think she's going to be a part of it.
Right.
But I would really like for that to happen, because I agree with you. I don't want Rey to be related in any way to the Skywalker family, because that would be way too predictable.
It's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah. So just don't. I heard somewhere that she actually might be Palpatine's granddaughter.
Oh.
Because they have the same fighting style. If you watch, she puts the sword behind her head, and the only other Jedi to do that is Palpatine. So there was that rumor going around, but don't quote me. Exactly. That's on the internet, and there's lots of stuff on the internet.
All right, so that's for next year's Star Wars for all the fans. Obviously, it's in December. As always, Disney has an immaculate calendar for all his releases. Like, those guys already have I think I don't have enough years in my life to cut up with all this stuff.
All the movies.
Yeah. The next one is one that I'm kind of excited. It's Wonder Woman.
I agree with you. I'm super excited about this because it's our first real female superhero movie. But what I'm even more excited about is it's in the past.
Right. First World War.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the ugly cousin that nobody cares a lot. You know, it's there, and we know it's relevant, but we always focus on Hitler and all.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I think so far the trailer looks great. Gal Gadot, I think that's her name.
Gal
right?
Gadot, yeah.
At first, it was kind of off because I think so far I didn't see any movies, like real movies where she's the protagonist. And besides Fast and Furious,
which
saga,
I have not seen.
I seen. I mean, if you're gonna get entertainment, go and watch Fast and Furious, but don't expect anything else than that.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. That was the biggest image I have of this actress. That was the reason I was like, really, this girl for this big role. But after seeing the trailer, yeah, she looks great.
All of my expectations for her were wiped away. Ironically enough, in the Batman vs Superman movie, she was my favorite part of that movie. Which, you know, her name wasn't even included in it.
Right.
But it was so good. Again, I wish the trailers hadn't spoiled that for me that she was going to be in there, because it was such a big impact. I love the music she has. They brought on that composer from her movie to come in there and write that piece. It was awesome. I loved her character because I agreed with you. I didn't think she could fill those that shoes, that role, that have that toughness, but be this, you know, image of a woman and be fierce but feminine. So there was a lot to cover there, but she did it. She did a wonderful job, in my humble opinion.
Oh no, I agree with you and all those points that you say, and especially because the other biggest female superpower, kinda, sort of, it's Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson, but she's not per se the protagonist. She's with all these other more cooler guys.
She's a tag along.
They're guys, you know, it's like, you're the human that can spin and do here and there, but you're not, you know, you're not our level, kind of thing.
Right, yeah, you're kind of like Daredevil tier level. You're the street level of, you know, if anything big came along, you're kind of screwed there. No, I agree. All we have is Black Widow, and she's not even the greatest role model to kind of look up to, an assassin.
And even the Scarlet Witch, it was okay. Yeah. And we know she's super powerful, but I feel they still sort of, I don't know if they're conscious of that or they're doing it on purpose, but they kind of diminish that feminine side, you know? Like, you're eye candy, go and do your thing and then go back in the background, you know, kind of thing.
And yeah, I guess it's kind of hard too, because when she was brought on, it was for the second Avengers, which is completely a star-studded cast. So to get any screen time, you know, you have to really cram in any backstory. But even then, the second outing would have been the Civil War. Another star-studded cast. It could have been Avengers 3 for all we care, which it should have been. Again, she's only a fraction of the movie, and she's so great, but we only get a small little tidbit. I really kind of wanted something. I mean, I get it. You can't do too much because Fox owns the mutants.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't dive into a lot of what makes her awesome without crossing over some red tape here.
Exactly. And I think they did a clever thing with
Quicksilver?
Oh, no. With coming back to Black Widow, I think they put in this human approach with her backstory, you know, with that she was abused, and with the Hulk and everything. So that's sort of counterbalance all these problems that we have with the movies, but it's not enough. And I think this is the opportunity for especially for DC. Marvel is holding too much to either bring a Black Widow solo movie, which they've thought about it, but you're right, they haven't pulled the trigger on that one. So DC has the lead on this one, and since they're being like mistake by mistake with all the franchises and stuff, these can be the redeem and you know, lead or put all the focus then on the Justice League.
You know, because I'm a huge fan of that Man of Steel movie. I really liked it compared to all the other the Superman movies. I loved what it stood for. I agree with everything that happened. I know a lot of people hated the ending of that movie, but I get it. I get it. And so I was super excited for any kind of sequel when they said it's going to be Batman versus Superman.
Right.
How could you go wrong? And then it went so...
Yeah.
I respect the movie. I love the director's cut of that movie.
Right.
They add so much more to it, but I still, again, a big misstep in the movie. Suicide Squad, another not misstep, but I wanted so much more. That's an example of a great trailer that didn't deliver. But I enjoy it all the same. It was a good popcorn movie. But you're right. This is the right step for DC.
I think this is going to be the little milestone for them, and they need to take advantage of that. If this movie do great, they can't screw it up with the Justice League, which I already watched a trailer.
Yeah.
Again, it's that mixed feeling of, everything sort of looks great assembled, but at the same time, they're just rushing too much to cut up with Marvel, and I think that's their biggest mistake.
That is their biggest mistake, because if they had just taken, I mean, this is me, if they had taken their time and just given me a Batman movie.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to Batman versus, give me a Batman movie, give me this Wonder Woman movie, then give me a Flash movie, and then give me that Batman versus Superman to tie it all together, and then a Justice League movie. Build me up here, because you just threw in a bunch of characters I had no knowledge about. I mean, I know who Batman is, but, not Ben Affleck's
universe on their
because he killed a lot of people. Batman's big rule is don't kill, and I counted. He has like 16 kills in that.
This guy jumped from I'm gonna break my rule, and then suddenly I don't give a if I'm gonna kill everybody.
And I get it. And again, it's because his Robin has died. He's been jaded by the Joker. But again, we don't know this in this universe. We just see a Robin suit with the words written on it.
It's like, it's fine. We're waiting for that. Nobody cares about Robin, but at least tell me what's going on.
No. Looking at the Justice League trailer, I'm super stoked for it. It doesn't give anything away. As far as plot, I was laughing through it, and I love the music. Whenever a trailer can pick the perfect music, I'm all for it. And White Stripes was absolutely the top drawer for that. So I am hotly anticipating that movie, Justice League. I am not a fan of this part 1, part 2 stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's see, let's give it a chance again.
But yeah, Wonder Woman.
Happen. It's all right, Wonder Woman. The other one that I'm really waiting a lot to see it is War of the Planet of the Apes, which we just have like a teaser, I guess, some voiceover and some animation. But so far, the 2 movies that have been so great, a really great take on this classic. It's already a classic Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Even the original ones, they were great. The Tim Burton, well, not all of the classic ones. Maybe the 2 first.
No, because that Tim Burton one definitely didn't do anyone any favors, and then the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything would touch those, but when they said this was coming out, I wasn't hoping for much. And then when they said Idris Elba and then James Franco was attached to the project, I'm thinking, how can this be any good?
Especially with James Franco.
And this was before James Franco was super popular again.
Exactly. That's the point I tried to bring it up. But that was before he suddenly redeemed himself with all these other movies. But you're right. I wasn't expecting anything. But again, I went with the hopes of those first movies, and it was a really nice surprise. Especially with the actor. I forget the name. But the actor, they do the animation,
Andy Serkis.
There you go. That dude is amazing.
That's Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He's Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong.
He deserves an Oscar. I feel like
he's
unfair.
Won. He deserves. I think he's got something. He got
like a sort of like a how we can put it, like a special edition of the Oscar, like, oh yeah, you're cool doing the
here's your lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, but he should be fighting with real actors. I mean, it's so hard to pull it off.
I totally agree with you 100%. I would love to see if War of the Planet of the Apes is any good, which we know it will be. For him to even just be considered for a nomination, even just getting a nomination for doing that, because he is acting. Everything you're seeing on that computer screen is him.
I think that's another great example of movies using technology, not just for the sake of using it, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw you an axe and you're gonna see it in 3D or whatever. We're tired of those. They hear that they use it in a really smart way, and I think Warcraft took so much of that knowledge of that team to bring it to the Warcraft movie, and you see it resemble in the quality. Like, I don't know, I feel like in a couple of years you're not gonna notice if it's a real monkey or a fake one. It's getting to that point.
You're right. It is getting to that point. I always thought with those movies, I wasn't going to. It was going to take me out of the movie experience watching the monkey and knowing it was a CG monkey to just be like, I don't believe anything. I'm not going to care about this. But I was totally invested every single scene, especially, and it's really easy to tell when a human's in the same scene. But it's pretty seamless. Right. Now, did you actually go to the theaters to see the first two?
Yeah. I went to the theater, and it's a great experience. The overall movie is a great package. And I think the thing that surprised me a lot was the subtle things. Like the way that... I mean, you're seeing the emotion through the face of the monkey. It's almost... it's just... You really need to go and see it and experience the movie to know what we're talking about. But I'm excited about that one. We don't have so much information yet, but so far, because they're, slightly based on the original ones, especially the last one with the Caesar monkey came on the franchise. Yeah. So I think it's going to be, again, a war and to hopefully have peace, I guess.
No, what I think is going to happen is it's going to lead into how our planet got to be the way Charlton Heston saw it. Because if you watch the first Planet of the Apes movie, the remakes with James Franco, they talk about that spaceship that goes into space, and that's the one that has quote unquote Charlton Heston in there, and he comes back down to Earth not knowing. But the monkeys have to take over at some point, so I believe this is really our tipping point as humanity, where we blew it up.
My hope is, I don't know, that can be one of the endings, and I will be fine with that. Yeah. Where the monkeys take on the humans. But I think since based on especially the first movie, there was the all the take on the inequalities. And the movies between the animals and the humans. And the message was, the minorities and
that was
that. So what I'm hoping is in this last movie they have this war that's so messy that they realize, like, dude, what the heck we're doing, when we can avoid all this. But let's see
how it plays out,
where it goes. Yeah, exactly. All right, the other one that I'm excited too, and it's a really nice surprise, it was John Wick 2. Did you watch the first one?
I did. I actually saw it on HBO because I had nothing better to watch. And I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah. It's a really simple movie, like pretty straightforward. A dude that's going to have his revenge. But it's just the way it is all laid out, the fighting scenes, the commitment with Keanu Reeves to... I know that the guy... It's really enthusiastic about martial arts and fighting styles. So he's not an improvised guy that, I'm going to have a training in 6 months and then I'm just going to jump the movie. The guy's been doing it for so long. But I think it's a refreshment on the action movies. Yeah. Because nobody know about this movie in the beginning. Nobody cares about it.
It's a brand new intellectual property. No real back. It's not based on a comic book. Exactly. It's not based on anything. It was
But it feels like sort of.
Because it's... And that's why I think the movie kind of took off like it did, is it doesn't make you... You don't have a bunch of people that are talking about John Wick and he's doing this, giving us the backstory. All we know is that this man is the boogeyman. Right. He is the guy who kills the boogeyman. This guy is the guy. You should be afraid of him. That's all we get. Yeah. And then he delivers on it 1,000%. And so, of course, we're going to follow it. But what always surprised me was how much world there was and how I wanted more, but not in a bad way, Star Wars, but more of like, give me more of that. Give me the secret society. What is the gold used for? Oh, my gosh. Everybody knows John.
Exactly. And like I said, it's a really simple plot. Yep. Because there's not much to it besides the beginning. And like, oh, dude, you kill my dog, you're gonna die.
Extends the plot. Yeah.
You're gonna die. Pretty much this guy, it's kind of like a real sort of Batman guy kind of thing, with all the action. Obviously, he don't have fancy equipment and gadgets.
Just guns.
But yeah, exactly. Guns and knife. That's simple. The guy is, like simple taste. But this number 2, it seems like we're going to have more of that. They're going to expand a little bit more. And if I'm not wrong, it's going to take on Europe, right?
Yeah.
Italy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe we're going to have some glimpses of La Cosa Nostra kind of thing. But, for you people who know what I'm talking about, maybe. That's not for the new millennials. They don't know about that anymore. But yeah, I'm excited. So far what I see is the first one, but like with more stunts and more action. And I think this is a one that people can't miss, especially if you like action movies.
Yeah, because I missed the first one, even though everybody was telling me it's a really good movie. It's really, I still didn't, because again, I have no knowledge of it, no background. Yeah. I missed it, and so I saw it on my home.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go to this one in the theater.
Especially the name John Wick. It doesn't give you anything, really. Yeah. I mean, maybe you think about it. I don't know. Honestly, the first time I hear it, it's like, really another like sort of magician movie or something, just with the wig in there. But, I don't know. But that was a nice surprise. The next one is Transporting 2. The only reason I'm bringing it up, this one, is because the first one had become a cult, a really big hit. And again, it doesn't mean that it has a broad audience, but so far, at that time when that movie came, it shaked so much things on and different topics, the drug abuse, the lifestyles of the ending of the 90s. Pretty much, that's how I can describe it. It's just a portrait of how how excessive we're as a human with addictions and stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you didn't watch it yet.
I have never seen Trainspotting before. It completely flew over me. I had no idea. I've never heard of this one. I kept thinking he was talking about, Transporter.
Yeah.
And so when he showed me the trailer for the first one, I had no idea what was going on.
Right.
So, but I mean, what he's saying is correct. It all looks like it's all about addiction and about drugs and about dealing with it and how different people cope in different ways. So it looks really interesting. I'm actually going to go home and actually watch this thing because it has my interest.
Just for the people there listening, it is for me, it's an important movie for history, cinema. So many ways, from a style point of view, from the narrative, the writing part, the actors, even McGregor is there, and also Danny Boyle is a director, which I think is one of the best directors in recent years. And if you don't know who is that guy, you should go and watch Slumdog Millionaire. 20 Days Later, you see that zombie movie?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, he also did Steve Jobs, so he has a quite big filmography, so you can definitely go to check it out. And that's the one we're waiting for next year. The next one is another big one. I don't know how big fan you are of Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. So that's one back in high school that my friends used to watch. So I would watch a few things here and there, like the movie and such. So I know a bit about it. Not a whole lot, but it's always so hard when you have Japanese animes translated in Western movies. I'm all for it, but the last reference I have for it is Dragon Ball Evolution. I mean, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, but that one was tough to watch.
So far, I watched the movie and I have some knowledge of, because I think it started as a manga, which for people that don't know what is a manga, which I don't think it's a lot of there. I think at this point a lot of people know what
an anime is, but not manga.
Manga is pretty much the Japanese version of the comic, and it has a particular thing. You read it in a different ways, from left to right. No, right to left.
Yeah, right to left, and we basically start at the back of the book.
Exactly.
For English readers.
Right. So it's that little subtle is. But my biggest thing is, like you say, the translation to a Hollywood blockbuster movie. Because for people that are interested in anime, they always manage topics. I mean, here in America, what my take is, in America, the cartoons are more for kids, sort of.
Silly out there.
And anime is a broad spectrum. And some of them, they're super psychological. I mean, the whole point of this movie, it's pretty much the protagonist has, where his whole body is a cyborg. And the only real thing is the brain. So this person obviously is conscious. You know, I have my brain. Technically, I'm still sort of human, but really, I mean, all my body is a cyborg. So it's that.
I'm just literally inside of a shell of a body.
Exactly, that's the name. Ghost in the Shell is based in a book, which I think that's the name of the book too.
Yeah.
So anyways, everything is so interesting. The anime, I mean, it looks amazing. All that, for all those fans of the cyberpunk take, like, I don't know, Blade Runner has that sort of look.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Kind of like stuff. Yeah. So it's definitely a must. My only concern is watching the movie already and watching the trailer. There are some parts that are shot by shot from the anime and the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost the same. So I understand it's a reboot. I hope they have a little something different, because I don't want to. This is the problem. I already watched the anime and it's so good that nothing's gonna surpass
it.
For me, obviously.
Now, I mean, having it not be as super important to me, but even watching, I do have a reference point, and seeing those shot-for-shot things, to see it faithfully shot for shot, it looks awesome to me. Right. However, I understand that there's a lot of, talk of whitewashing, where you have obviously a part meant for somebody of some sort of Asian descent, and you give it to Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, and it comes back to what we're talking so far in this podcast. It's money. People want, especially the investors, especially Hollywood movies. They want just the money back, and what other big name than Scarlett Johansson? People are more likely to trust a movie with somebody they recognize, like Scarlett Johansson, versus some high actor or actress from Japan, but we have no idea who it is. So they're not going to put millions of dollars into this movie when they don't trust what's going to be a product, even though it could be great. They're great actors. But again, that's the important thing. It's people start talking about this, and hopefully in a couple of years, like I say, Hollywood always is behind of this. They're old people that they grow up and they always. So hopefully it's gonna change, and that's the reason we are here, because of course our voice is so important, more than yours, and you're the reason you're listening. No, it's not true. Oh, anybody can do this. So it goes in the shell, and I think I'm gonna go and see it. Aesthetically, it looks amazing. Yeah, no, I'm on board for that one. Perfect. So we have left 3 more, and we're just gonna cramp it a little bit. But Alien Covenant, I'm a big fan of Alien. The Alien movies. Prometheus, a lot of people have conflict with Prometheus, but for me, it was fine. I mean, I don't know what people was expecting. The alien, I mean, it's not in the name. I think because it was Ridley Scott, and because he told it was going to be a Alien prequel, that everybody was expecting something. So I mean, it's like, going to see, the Split movie and being told it's going to have this huge people with multiple personality disorders, and then you get nothing. Right. So I think the main problem for people with Prometheus, it's sort of like you say, Ridley Scott make the promise, like it's a prequel. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give some answers to what happened, but people ended up like, oh, I have more questions. I want more answers, and I think the whole point of that movie was to show you how the alien was created. It wasn't never intended to answer who are these engineers and all these parts. It was just, alien start from here. But I like the movie. I like when you don't have the total answers.
it was bold because obviously he's playing with his own creation, but it's already established, so it's hard to play with those elements. So I'm excited for Alien Covenant because, to be honest, I don't know what's gonna happen next, and that's a good thing sometimes. Like you see the ending with the doctor with the robot, trying to meet these engineers, or whatever they are. So my take is we're gonna have this storyline with the doctor and the robot, and then we're gonna have this another group that's the ones that are gonna sort of have the first encounter with the alien in this universe, and at some point they meet and then they're gonna split to their things. But that's my take. I don't know. Really, I don't know. Especially with Ridley Scott, he's a good storyteller. Sure.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, to be honest.
It's all up in the air.
Perfect. And the next one is The Mummy. Big franchise. I grew up seeing it. At the time, also, same thing with the special effects. They were amazing.
Oh, so you're talking about like the Brendan Fraser one.
The Brendan Fraser. When Brendan Fraser was cool.
When he was at the top of his game.
Exactly.
1998?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I remember going into that movie thinking it's going to be some sort of horror film.
Right.
And it was more of an adventure.
But it still have that vibe.
Oh, yeah. But it was good. It was better than anybody expected.
Yeah, totally.
Great adventure film. And then they had the sequel that came out.
It was still okay.
Yeah, Scorpion King, you had The Rock.
Yeah.
Before The Rock was cool, by the way. Well, at least for movies.
Yeah. But, and then the third, I think it was with Jet Li.
Jet Li, and it came out almost 10 years after number 2, and way too much time had passed. Several actors had dropped out of the film, so it was just riddled with problems. That iron was just way too cold to strike anything relatively good.
I think this one has a decent cast with obviously Tom Cruise. I know some people hate him, but he's a charm, It's a reason why this guy keeps doing big movies to this day.
Despite how hard he's trying to take his career. Yes.
Exactly.
The trailer came out today, by the way, so
It's more like a teaser, but you can see definitely a few stuff, what's going to happen.
But prior to this, we had no knowledge to what it was going to be. All you knew was Mummy movie,
right?
Tom Cruise. It's supposed to play a bigger part in the Universal monster universe. They're trying to do the same thing as DC and Marvel and having their monsters come together. That's the creature from Black Lagoon. That's that new Dracula movie, Dracula Untold.
Right.
And so this Mummy should cross over somehow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what Universal's wanting to do. Now, Dracula didn't do too well at the box office.
I like it a lot, but you can throw me anything that has a vampire in the movie, and I'm gonna watch it. Even if it's bad.
Twilight?
Not Twilight. Let's pretend
where
that
I was
we
going.
live in a universe that just didn't happen.
No, but yeah. So again, my first impressions of this movie were it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
So, but watching this trailer. Yeah. My views. More. I do. And
also, Russell Crowe was there, which I didn't know it was there.
Absolutely no idea.
I hope the guy is a bad guy, so he can be a douchey and nobody is gonna care.
Yeah, I'm interested. I want to know. With the Mummy being a woman, I'm interested to find out how this is going to differ from the Brendan Fraser version. It looks on a much grander scale, and from what I could see, it looked like it was in present day.
Yeah. Not in the past.
1940s, 1920s, exactly. Like the other one was. So it.
Maybe, that's the line it goes, maybe all these secret with the mummies being hidden. There's maybe Tom Cruise. I can see Tom Cruise.
This is so weird to say out loud with the mummies, and then Tom Cruise comes in, and
exactly.
I feel like somebody's trying to pitch a movie to me, and then we have Tom Cruise come in.
It's my job, but kinda. Or I hope it was my job. But that's a big part of the movie, sell the movie in a line. But I think I'm gonna give him a chance. It looks great.
Yeah.
I want to see more, like a proper trailer, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
More extended. But if that idea of the monsters sounds weird. but in a good way. I think if they are smart enough, they can pull it off.
Right, because it's all Universal property owned monsters, and my big thing is, what are you gonna do to bring them all together that's not gonna feel some sort of like shoehorn?
That's what I'm saying. They need to be smart enough to think in something that they can, a perfect excuse to put together all these monsters, make it work. But it's not much. That what are you gonna do? Like, oh yeah, we're the monsters, and that's what we do.
Oh, the world is ending. Let all the monsters come together to help fight off this evil force. It's the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. They need to be smart to play this one, because it's hard, and all of those monsters are already in the people's mind. They already have an idea of these monsters, so it's hard to put them together, like I say, and make it work. But let's see what happens. Everything can happen these days.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a chance.
Why not?
Yeah.
And last but not least, the big one is Blade Runner 2049. I'm a big fan of the original. I think it's a masterpiece.
I'll tell you a secret. I have never seen the original Blade Runner.
Don't feel bad, but you if you don't watch it after this, then I'm gonna feel sorry for you.
You're gonna find a new co-host.
no, but same thing with it. Kind of goes in the topic with Ghost in the Shell, like what it's what it's supposed to be conscious. All these deep topics that you don't want. Probably you don't want to have a talk in school about it. It's like,
you don't want to think about it,
But I think this movie, in so many ways, is a breakthrough in cinema. It's Ridley Scott again. Now, the first movie is so good that I don't know if this one is gonna pull it off.
Does it have Harrison Ford in it?
It has Harrison Ford. He's young, beautiful, and sexy.
Oh my god!
More than
CGI technology again, folks.
Yeah, but even at that point, the look, the grittiness of the movie, the topics, the acting, it's just a good overall movie.
When did the original come out?
I think in the 70s. I don't have the exact year, but it's around the 70s.
Even if it is 70s or 80s, if that original one came out at that time with those sort of topics, that is so before even what we are even comprehending now as far as what is human life, what is viable life, stuff we're still wrestling with now. So for that to come out then...
Yeah, it was pretty bold, so to say. Especially because somehow now we're heading towards that a little bit.
Yeah.
In some ways, not quite yet. But if you think about it, from the 70s to now, it's been 40 years. And it's just technology is going like insanely fast.
Computers used to be the size of whole rooms.
Yeah.
Around the 60s.
See that Batman Adam West with the whole
the whole wall is a computer. And now we have it in a compact form. Yeah. My phone is a computer.
Exactly. That would be cool. Go back in time and then like hear people have a phone, and they will think that we're gods or something.
There's no cell towers. It would just be a screen. I thought about it. I've given again more movie magic.
Exactly.
Just use it.
Well, there you go. That's my movie. My pitch. What if Tom Cruise go back in time and bring his phone? There you go. That will be a movie. All right, buddy. That's to wrap it up. This week it was nice. It seems like an interesting year. Not as crazy as this last one,
right? Not these huge blockbuster
but
movies.
Definitely you have options, and that's always great.
Yeah, nice diverse movie experience.
So I don't know what's gonna happen because it's December, but probably we have 2 more at least.
Yeah,
I mean I'm not gonna be like, it's Christmas, people, go and see your family, don't be alone and listen to us, live. But probably next week we can talk about what's this month movies with what we say, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed.
I don't know what else is coming besides that.
That's it. Those are the 2 big hitters this year.
Yeah, and then we can just keep rolling. We're trying this. It's fun. Chris definitely is a guy that has enough knowledge to talk about this, whatever that means.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about what I'm talking, so just keep listening to us. Keep listening to us. And we take comments, nice comments, please. Always good criticism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
greatly appreciated.
We have too much hate in this world to come back to our laptops and have hate.
It's okay to not like our show. Just let us know why. Let us know why, and we'll try to fix it.
There you go. Maybe we're not changed much, but we definitely want to hear you guys. So thanks so much to listen this hour something podcast. And I don't know what I'm supposed to say. The force be with you or something? Something like that.
So homework for next time is we have to think of a name for the show and then a proper sign off.